Hi, welcome to the Deep Dive, where I, the creator of the Deep End, go more in depth about each of my shows. Welcome to Season 2, Show 1. So, firstly, I'm going to start with how it was making the first show. So, unlike the entirety of last semester or Season 1, I was actually very prepared. I had my script done multiple days in advance. At least from when I was looking over it, everything seemed to be going great. I had all my sounds ready, I had my voice, if you want to say. I thought everything was going to go extremely well. So my confidence was all the way up there, really high. I was looking to make this the best show out of all the ones I've done in the previous. But similar to the last semester, I didn't fully start until like a month and a half later in the semester because I wanted to make sure I had my classes, work, other such like that settled before I actually started making more shows. And luckily it did pay off. But then when it came to performing, things went really rough. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just the fact that I hadn't done it for multiple months, but I kept choking up. My sounds were all over the place. Despite doing this before, I was working with a new system that I knew very little about. I mean, it's still the same program, but instead of having the usual 4 tracks, which has all 4 of them laid out in front of you, I was using the 6-track system, which meant that there was only 2 in front of you and then tabs to switch between the others. Not that big of a deal if you have someone else with you, but by myself, that was a nightmare. And ultimately, I just had to cut out some of the sounds, which, especially if you listen into the show too, you'll notice that I almost completely cut sound effects because it was just too much to deal with. And as I kept doing the show more and more, my confidence in it just felt so poor because, I hyped it up to my friends and family that this was going to be the best show I made yet, and yet it felt like this was one of my middle shows of season 1. But then as I listened back to it, I realized, it's not as bad as I made it out to be. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but it could have been a lot worse. So I was pretty hopeful that I could actually rise above this one, because overall, if you start off perfect, you'll never get better. So, despite me initially down-talking it, or hyping it up and then down-talking it, I was ready to talk it up again. I was like, you know what? This was just the first taste of what I can do. It was the setup. Compared to last season's episode 1, it was considerably better. And so then I was more focused than I ever was on any of my other shows to make show 2 something phenomenal. And whether or not you think I actually did it or not is up to you, but I feel like show 1 has truly been the best stepping stone I've had so far. And with that, that's all there is to it. If you have any questions or wanted me to go more in depth about something, feel free to drop it down into the comments and I will try to answer it as quick as possible. And with that, you have yourself a great day.